Today's story is about PSG's affair with the UEFA Champions League. Why did they not win a Champions League? Why did it go horribly wrong? And why did the PSG project fail? Those answers you will hear in today's story. And just a disclaimer, this is only when Qatar bought PSG. We're not going to go back into the 1980s, 70s. They were formed in 1970. Just a disclaimer. So from around 2012, but I'm not going to go into every single year. We're going to point out notable matches and where it all literally just describes how PSG just went horribly wrong. But before we get started today's story, I need a favour of you guys. I want you to subscribe if you're new, like the video, share it to your friends, so I can help the channel grow and keep producing more stories. Because I like doing them, even though it takes a lot of hard work to put into these videos, like doing the research and putting the pictures in. It's what I want to do, and hopefully it'll work out with you guys. So as always, like the video, share it, subscribe, and it'll mean a lot for me as well. But without further ado, let's get started with today's story. We're going to start off with PSG taking on Barcelona in the 2017 Champions League, and the second leg, nobody should have ever forgot the outcome. The first leg ended 4-0 to PSG, 2 goals from Di Maria, one of them being a free kick, a goal for new signing Julian Draxler, and substitute Edinson Cavani also got on the score sheet. And they made history. PSG went on to beat Barcelona 4-0, which had the likes of Messi, Suarez and Neymar at their prime. And the catch to this, no one in Champions League history / European history, definitely Champions League history, has never come back from 4-0 down in the first leg and gone through. And I'm afraid that PSG were the victims to this disaster. In the second leg, Barcelona beat PSG 6-1 in the final seconds, eliminating them and also suffering the 4-0 deficit. And you see this iconic picture of Messi with the Barcelona fans, and also the moment where Roberto scored the winner and put PSG into the quarter-finals. And that was football. Beautiful moments. As a neutral, you want to see the moments. Delirium, passion, excitement, emotion from a 4-0 deficit to 6-1. Yes, it did not lead to a trophy, and Barcelona were eliminated by Juventus, who got to the final of the tournament but lost. So it didn't really work out well for Barcelona in the Champions League that season. We're going to talk about Barcelona another day, but that defeat was a huge blow for PSG, and they were eliminated. Disgraceful. Some said that Suarez dived, and Barcelona were lucky, but I think that Barcelona wanted it more because of what happened in the first leg. And to make matters worse, PSG did not win the league that season. It went to Monaco with a star-studded team with the likes of Mbappe, Fabinho, Lamar, Bakayoko, Benjamin Mendy, and that's another good story to make in another video. So on a whole, that was a really disappointing from PSG in that season. But next season, the standards had to be raised. In the summer of 2017, PSG decided to spend £200 million on Neymar Jr. and also spent around £180 million on Kylian Mbappe. That meant that PSG had to be competing for a Champions League, or they failed. In the group stages, they topped their group, beating the likes of Bayern Munich, and because of that, they played Real Madrid in the round of 16. Did it go to plan? No, because they were out-destroyed by Real Madrid, and because of that, they were eliminated in the round of 16, losing 5-2 on aggregate. And the only positive is they didn't collapse a full goal lead, and they lost to the better team. So those were the only positives. And also, Real Madrid went on to win the Champions League that season, with a stunning Bale goal in the final, and mistakes from Karius got Real Madrid the title, adding number 12. No, it was 13. Sorry, number 13. But another positive about PSG is they went on to win the league that season. But it was not enough of how much money they spent on Neymar and Mbappe. They had to be demanding for a Champions League. And then the next season, 2018-2019, and PSG, because of their financial restraints, PSG did not really buy anyone in that summer. They got Buffon in, they got Choupo-Moting in. That's all I can really remember. And they progressed to the round of 16, topping their group, which consists of the likes of Liverpool, finished second, and Napoli. And they went on to the round of 16, where they were going to play Manchester United. The first leg of the round of 16 clash with Manchester United ended 2-0 to PSG, a first goal for President Kimpembe, and of course Kylian Mbappe scoring. And the way they've been celebrating was like as if they won the Champions League. You got Di Maria telling the United fans to F off, pretending to drink the beer, and they're just acting unprofessional that game. They over celebrated, and that's with the moral history. Them over celebrating wins. And also, Neymar and Cavani were out injured for this game, so neither of them were involved, and Neymar had to miss the second leg also because of an injury, which kind of describes his spell at PSG. So a few weeks later, the second leg of the Champions League round 16 came along, and did they do well? PSG went on to bustle it again as they got knocked out by Manchester United. Marcus Rashford scored a winning penalty in the 93rd minute, and a certain he who shall not be named made his debut for the club. And this was the full-time celebrations or the goal after the goal went in. And what was even more embarrassing is that Man United were without a bunch of players: Ander Herrera, Paul Pogba, Nemanja Matic, Alexis Sanchez. Who else were they without? Oh yeah, Antonio Valencia. And literally the bench was like with James Garner, he who shall not be named, Chong, and they were literally right down to the bare bones. And also made history was the first Man United were the first team to be 2 goals down at home in the Champions League and gone through in the knockout stages, which is even more embarrassing records PSG produced. And the Neymar expression meme, he was not involved, but if he was, then probably have scored and sent United out. And if they did score, they would over celebrate despite being knocked out of the Champions League. Another learning curve that PSG had to go through for another year waiting for a Champions League, and the next year they nearly did. And in the summer of 2019, they bought Keylor Navas, they bought Idrissa Gueye, Ander Herrera, Mauro Icardi, Pablo Sarabia, another one, and they brought in pretty good reinforcements. But most of them flopped. But this Champions League run was I want to remember. They topped the group with Real Madrid in their Champions League group, and they knocked out Borussia Dortmund in the round of 16 without fans, because this was the COVID Champions League knockout style. So one match and that was it. It was decided by that, so there were no two legs played for this Champions League edition. And they went past Atalanta and RB Leipzig to be in the Champions League final, narrowly beating Atalanta and thumping Leipzig. So they got to the Champions League final, and things did not go to plan. A goal by Kingsley Coman, former PSG player, with a bullet header, went on to make Bayern Munich win the Champions League. And Bayern Munich definitely deserved to win the Champions League. Robert Lewandowski was on fire, and they put 7 past Bayern Munich, thumped Chelsea 7-1 on aggregate. Like, they were unreal. And the defence as well were pretty solid, and they just ultimately deserved to win the Champions League. Okay, no disrespect to PSG, but Bayern Munich deserved it. They were the favourites, and they showed why they were favourites in the final. It wasn't really exciting, the final, but moments of individualism with the header by Kingsley Coman got Bayern Munich the Champions League, and that to this day has been the closest that PSG have been to the Champions League trophy, and they have still not got a Champions League trophy for themselves. But we're going to advance to the 2020-21 season with PSG's 5th main attempt to try and win the Champions League. They topped their group, which consists of the likes of Manchester United and RB Leipzig, and they've knocked out the likes of Bayern Munich and FC Barcelona in the round of 16, meaning that they were drawn with Manchester City for the semi-final of the Champions League. Could they get to the final again? The answer is no. Mahrez Magic got City through to the Champions League final, scoring all 4 goals to get Manchester City to the Champions League final, but they lost, meaning Manchester City still do not have the Champions League trophy at the time, and PSG still don't have a Champions League trophy. And it's another major fail from PSG, another major L. They didn't bottle the lead. They did take the lead in the overall, but they collapsed quite badly, and Di Maria got a red card in the second leg because he's stupid. So now major rebuild had to be imposed, and the summer 2021 they did make a proper rebuild. In summer 2021 they brought Donnarumma, Ramos, Messi and Wijnaldum on free transfers. Absolutely insane business, and bought Ashraf Hakimi from Inter Milan for £60 million. We all know Messi, one of the greatest players in the world, the GOAT, undisputed. He got the rest. Donnarumma was the hero for Italy in the Euros, winning them in the penalty shootout over England, winning player of the tournament as well as a goalkeeper. That's pretty impressive. Sergio Ramos' experience, his leadership, his quality, but he had injury problems, and with Wijnaldum wanted a new challenge, came to PSG. And Hakimi, PSG really needed a right back. They got one in £60 million, and he has not disappointed. But with the Messi transfer, it really did not work out. It was, at the time, it was cool with Messi, Neymar and Mbappe forwards, elite, crazy numbers, high salaries, and world-class players. And it really did not work out well. Not between the three of them, but just with the club, it just did not work out well with them. And with Donnarumma, very questionable about his ability, very questionable. Is it because it's a new league and he's not used to Serie A? We don't know, but there's no more excuses from him. He has to perform now as a PSG player. And now The new resources mean that PSG needs to push again for a Champions League. They can't keep doing this over and over and over again. So, in the group stages, they had another pretty tough group with RB Leipzig again, and the blue half of Manchester City, who they tipped to the Champions League final. And in that Champions League group, they came second in the Champions League, meaning they were home in the first leg and away in the second, just like how they were against Barcelona. And they were drawn with Real Madrid. Real Madrid, who have been, who have not won a Champions League in 4 years, who have some sort of questions about their ability right now. And we're gonna talk about the two matches. The first leg of the round of 16 clash against Real Madrid ended 1-0 to PSG. Mbappe scored in the last minute, but Messi missed out a penalty which was saved by Courtois. It was going to haunt them in the future. In the Bernabeu, Mbappe scored again to put PSG 2-0 up on aggregate, but a Benzema hat-trick put 3 past PSG, ultimately making them go out in the round of 16, completing the comeback. Another failure from PSG. Another manager failed. I forgot to say about the likes of Emery between 2017 and 18, Tuchel 2019 and 20, Poch 21-22. When they are going to learn that PSG is just, they don't bother winning Champions Leagues. And that's never gonna change. They bottled it yet again. That's 3 bottle jobs, I can tell you. The ones from Barcelona and Man United, and now PSG against Real Madrid. And it's embarrassing, it's humiliating. Fans have had enough, to the point where the next game they booed the likes of Messi and Neymar for their disgusting performances. And I don't blame them. The fans want Champions Leagues. The fans need answers. And they were promised a Champions League, but they never got one. And the amount of money PSG has spent on that squad, and without a Champions League, it's just mortifying. Yes, they win the league every season, but they won the Champions League. That's what the aim was. They still do not have a Champions League at that point. And now we'll be advancing to the latest edition of the Champions League in 2022-23. So we're going to start off with the group stages. They came second in the group on the final day, as Benfica put, I believe it was 6 past, I forgot the club that was named, some Israeli club. They put 6 past them, ultimately putting them up a goal difference, topping PSG. So PSG had finished second on the final day. Juventus missed out because they had a stinker, which meant that PSG were the first team seeded in the away second leg, just like last season. And they were drawn with Bayern Munich, familiar friends, the ones that pips them to the Champions League in 2020. And as the script goes on, things did not go to plan. PSG lost the first leg 1-0, and ironically, Koeman scored the winner, but they felt even worse. Second leg, they were destroyed 2-0, 3-0 on aggregate, and because of that, they went out. Bit of karma, because 2 years prior, they played each other in the quarterfinals, and they both celebrated the win with that image of Neymar celebrating in front of Kimmich. How times have changed, and now PSG, as of recording, still do not have a Champions League medal, still do not have changes, and now we're going to have to do another project, another rebuild, just to go and get the Champions League again, which is, it's just boring at this point. It was fun at first, but now it's just boring with all the egos and the Galacticos, so-called, at the club, and now they're gone. With Messi gone, Neymar just went. It's a time for a rebuild and time for reshuffling. So do not expect PSG to win a Champions League anytime soon. If they do go and win it at Wembley next year, then fair play, congrats to them. And finally, it's come. Just like Man City. Never. Man City's. They won it. They won it in June. But they were mean because they never won the Champions League. So, will it be PSG's time? A new dawn, new era, new manager in Enrique. Who knows? But that's today's story wrapped up. That's the story of PSG's relationship with the Champions League, which is, as of now, this video has been pretty bad. So what do you guys think of the PSG situation? What do you guys think of... Do you guys think PSG will win the Champions League? Let me know. And finally, if you're new around here, hit the subscribe button if you're new. Like the video, share it to your friends to help the channel grow. Massive appreciation if you guys do that, because this took a lot of hard work, as I said at the beginning, to make this possible, and I like to do these type of videos, and there'll be more coming soon. So thanks for watching, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.